Happy Saturday, foodie friends, grain-free VIPs. Welcome to today's Slice of the Grain-Free Lifestyle episode. My name is Nina Blake, and I am so excited to be here with you today. As you are coming on and being notified that I am here live, could you please say hello and drop an emoji in the chat? And if you are catching this on replay, could you please use hashtag replay to let me know that you have seen it? I'm realizing that I did not hook up my mic, but that's okay. We've still got sound from the phone. Good. Whew, first week back to work. Things aren't going so great, but that's all right. We've all survived tech blunders, right? So what are hidden grains and is it worth avoiding them? Okay. My name is Nina Blake. I'm the Grain-Free Lifestyle Coach. I help families avoid grains and allergens while packing their menu with flavor and variety so that they can enjoy meals together and live their best lives, because that's what we're here for, right? Okay, here's the short answer. What are hidden grains? Hidden grains are ingredients made from grains that are lurking on labels under names that you would never recognize as being made from grains. What do I mean? Pick up a salad dressing and you might see something like distilled white vinegar there. Distilled white vinegar is a hidden grain. Now, before I go any further, I'm gonna wait for a sound check from my VA. Thank you, Arlene. I see that we're set good on sound, even though I forgot to plug in my mic. Whew, we're going, right? Because life doesn't stop. We don't stop. And so if you're here with me live, say hello. That way I can reach out and thank you. And if you're catching the replay, please use hashtag replay. So earlier I said that distilled white vinegar you see on your salad dressing all the time, right? And we think it's fine, but distilled white vinegar is made from corn. Now, let's think for a minute. If I were to eat corn, and way back when I first went grain-free, I'd been off grains for about a month, and I decided to try some corn pasta. At that time, I did not know corn was a grain. I had a way to go. This was 2012 and I was hungry for pasta. Please don't blame me for it. So I ate some corn pasta and I ended up on the couch clutching my knees to my chest, rocking back and forth, chanting, "Corn is a grain. I will never eat corn again. Corn is a grain." And it was awful. And my stomach just felt, I couldn't handle it. Okay, that was from a serving of corn. How much corn is in that vinegar? Well, my friends, when vinegar is made, they start with bushels and bushels of corn, and then they have to ferment it. And when that mash is fermented, then they distill it. So think a bushel of corn in a bottle of vinegar. And so if you are getting that tablespoon of vinegar and you might feel sluggish, or you might feel uncomfortable, or you might feel that stomach ache that I got when I had that corn pasta, except in your brain you're going, but I didn't eat any grains. Why do I feel so awful? Okay, so there's an example of hidden grains and how they can affect our body. Now, hidden grains, just to recap, are those ingredients that are made from grains. They lurk on labels. What kind of foods and products can we find them in? Very simple. Foods, personal care products, and household items. And if you're like, Nina, that's everything. Hold up. This is why it's so important to know our grains and our grain-based ingredients, because they're not in everything. We can find safe, readily available alternatives that we can use safely. This morning I had some pain from my scoliosis, so instead of reaching for the standard rub that you get, that nice icy hot rub, I reached for the one that is safe for me, and I was able to rub it on my neck, my shoulders, my scoliosis, and not have pain. And so there are alternatives. Every once in a while I'll meet with someone and they'll be like, Nina, that's everything. That's literally everything. It might seem like it, but before we go a little deeper into today's conversation, let me just give you some evidence that it's not everything. So you know, I love food. I love to eat. I love to eat like normal without grains and the allergens that are wreaking havoc on my body. And after we sign off, I'm gonna make some breadcrumbs. This is my last test batch of my fluffy hamburger rolls. And so these rolls, I've got 2 of them. These are going to go in the food processor and they're going to become breadcrumbs so that tonight when I make my double cheeseburgers, I'm gonna have a double cheeseburger without grains or allergens. Look at how beautiful this roll is. This is gonna become breadcrumbs, and then I will be able to use it in my meatloaf and in my cheeseburgers. And if you're like, did you say cheese? Cheese? What? Dairy-free cheese? We make dairy-free cheese at our house. Well, actually, I make it. My husband eats it. But yeah, hidden grains will show up, and especially in your dairy-free products. So let's look at another hidden grain. Remember, that's an ingredient that when you see it on the label, you would never in a million years think that it's made from grain. Hey there, I see we have a couple new friends joining us. If you are joining me live, could you please drop an emoji below so I can reach out and say thank you? And I'm wondering, what kind of hidden grains have you been exposed to? And how did you know that they were made from grains? So we talked about white vinegar. Now we're gonna talk about an ingredient that we find in a lot of dairy-free alternatives. And that ingredient is modified food starch. What do you mean modified food starch? What is it? Starch. Starch is okay. I even had my naturopath say to me, Nina, there's no protein in starch. You should be fine with cornstarch. Well, the should be fine with cornstarch is very different than my body's response to the cornstarch. So what is modified food starch? Well, modified food starch can be any type of starch. It's usually made from a blend of potato and corn, but it's a blend, and usually cornstarch is in there. And what they do, they take regular starch like you would have in your cabinet, and then they run electricity through it, and they shock it, and they electrify it, and they do that to make it absorb more water. That gives a dairy-free cheese stability. I have gotten sick before, like, why do I feel like this? Kind of sick. Not vomiting, but where it just felt like the dairy-free cheese that I had eaten on my cheeseburger, my grain-free cheeseburger, it just sat in my stomach and it felt like lead and it didn't feel good. And with all the work that we are doing to avoid grains and allergens, we deserve to feel well. That is what we are doing this for. And so if you're looking for a recipe for double cheeseburgers or my rolls, could you please drop recipe below? And what's your favorite food to enjoy without grains and allergens? I would love to hear about it, because that's what this journey is about, sharing and learning together. I started in 2012. In 2012, I was in a waiting room. I was in my doctor's office, and he told me I needed to avoid grains and dairy if I wanted to stop with the ever-increasing weight gain. And when I say ever-increasing weight gain, I mean I was eating 1,200 calories a day and still gaining weight. I was working out 4 to 5 days a week, still gaining weight, because my body couldn't process the grains and allergens. It was overproducing insulin because it couldn't digest. It was overproducing hormones. I was a ball of anxiety and tired, and it was awful. So if you are just joining me live, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Nina Blake. I'm the Grain-Free Lifestyle Coach, and today we are talking about what are hidden grains and is it worth avoiding them. So hidden grains are those ingredients that lurk on labels, but they don't look anything like the original grains they're made from. Where are they hiding? Well, they're hiding on any label. They're hiding in personal care products, and they are hiding in household products. Now, I try so hard to keep things organized and clean and to keep the toxins out of my house. So a few years ago, I went to go set up my classroom when I was working in a different school district. And I'm like, you know what? I keep my house clean. I'm gonna keep my classroom clean without toxins too. So I dragged off the gallon of vinegar because I did not know what hidden grains were. I mean, I spent 10 years researching them, and I've put the list of more than 150 ingredients made from hidden grains together for my VIPs. Would you like that list? Let me know below. So I was going to school with my gallon of vinegar, and I knew that I could not consume the vinegar, but I had it left over. Vinegar is good to clean with. I'll clean with vinegar. So I mixed vinegar with some soap that was safe for me, and I scrubbed my classroom, and the classroom was sparkly clean, and I was feeling good, ready to go back to school, yeah. Why did my hands hurt? My hands were gnarled and inflamed, like I was in my 30s at the time, but they didn't look like the hands of a woman in her 30s. They looked like the hands of a woman in her 80s. It felt like I had arthritis. My fingers were locked up. I couldn't hold a pen to write a note to my colleague who was coming in the next day. I had to hold a pen with 2 fingers. Couldn't even hold it the normal way. And it looked like somebody else had written it because my hands were all gnarled up, and it was absolutely awful. And so that's when I started to get serious about hidden grains. Hidden grains, because I had gotten exposed. And if I could get exposed to hidden grains from cleaning with vinegar, that meant to me that any hidden grains that I put on my skin were going to affect my progress. Now, what happened after I cleaned with vinegar? Did it go away immediately? No, it took a whole week for my body for my hands to unlock and for them to, calm down, and for me to feel like my hands were my own again. And that was a really rough week. And so if you're watching this and you're here live with me, please say hello. I want to hear about your experience with hidden grains. If you're catching this on replay, please tell me what your experience with hidden grain is, because I want to reach out and I want to help you. I spent a year researching this. I don't think that it should take you 10 years to figure it out. Not when there is a list 5 pages long of 150 hidden grains hanging out waiting for you. So reach out and let me help you. Now, was white vinegar and modified food starch the only 2? Of course not. Like I said, there's more than 150 hidden grains. They lurk in our household products. They lurk in our personal care products. And we can live well while still avoiding them. Imagine right now. Imagine that you could make 5% more progress by avoiding hidden grains. Would you do it? Imagine if you could make 10 or 20% more progress by avoiding hidden grains. And what do I mean by progress? Progress can look like reaching your goal faster, whether that is physical healing, emotional healing, decreasing the brain fog, having fewer days where you are inflamed. Many people avoid grains and allergens because of their inflammatory conditions. And if you could get more quality of life back, would you do it? I do it. I'm about 98% grain-free. I do have a small amount of hidden grains that I consume knowingly because they're in my supplements. They're the casing for my supplements, and for me, the alternative is gelatin. And gelatin is much worse for me than the microcrystalline cellulose in my capsules. So if you're wondering, well, am I exposed to this stuff every day? I don't clean with white vinegar every day. Let's hop on a call, use my calendar link, and we can talk about how I can support you with this. We can do this on your schedule so that you are not missing out, so that you can live your best and your most delicious life. So what can you even eat if you decide to avoid hidden grains? I showed you the rolls, and VIPs, you are getting this recipe today. If you are not a VIP and you would like the recipe, comment VIP below, because I would love to tell you more about these amazing fluffy hamburger rolls. But it's not just about the rolls. Are you ready to see what I have for you next? Okay, people, hold up. Brownies, one word, brownies. Brownies without gluten, without grain, without dairy, without eggs, without soy, without corn, without almonds, without cashews, without peanuts, without sesame, without legumes, and without lectins. And if you're thinking, well, that's got to be made of water. Nope. It looks like a brownie. And it tastes like a brownie because it really is a brownie. These brownies are absolutely irresistible. I took them to a friend's anniversary party. I shared them there. I shared them with some coworkers this week. My husband can't stop eating them. He lives on the wild side. He crumbles them up and puts them over his dairy-free yogurt in the morning. Of course, his dairy-free yogurt is grain-free because I try not to let those foods into our house because it's really easy to make a mistake. So he loves that. Now, when I got married, I needed to look my bridey best, right? I made a mistake. I didn't check the label. Many of the alcohols in hair products do contain hidden grains, and I got exposed. So in that the pre-hairdo day where you go to the hairdresser the week before and she practices the hairdo, that thing, I put hair straightener in my hair. And what happened to my hands again? Guess what? They felt awful. And I couldn't figure it out. I just felt beautiful. I was playing with my hair. I felt beautiful. I was playing with my hair. Guess what? Hidden grains in the hair straightener. But I was still able to use that on my wedding day because I knew not to touch it. So when I say that we can avoid hidden grains, we can have a quality of life, we can eat deliciously, and I've got the list for you. It's already prepared so that you don't have to do what I did, right? You can just get the list. So if you want that list, definitely drop list below. Use my calendar link and we can talk about how I can support you with delicious recipes like the rolls and the brownies and the chicken taco casserole and the chicken parmesan and the pizza and the cake and the homemade cheddar and mozzarella. Okay, this can of coconut milk is going to live its best life today and become cheddar cheese on my burgers. No hidden grains, no additives. And do you know what happens when you avoid hidden grains and additives like that? Your body is able to reach its full potential, right? It's the difference between getting a full night of rest and waking up in the middle of the night 3 times. That's the best way I can describe it, where you just feel great and you're able to make progress and your hands work right because they're not in vinegar or in the alcohols in the hair products, right? One of my clients made so much progress that her brain fog disappeared, but her filter hadn't yet caught up. She hadn't made enough progress for that filter, the quick thinking, to catch up. The cloud was away and the thoughts, they were firing. And she said, Nina, I'm fighting with everyone. And I know while I'm saying it, I know that it's bad. I know that it's really something I could keep inside. But for her, that was one of the steps on her healing. And so whatever progress you are working on with your doctor, your naturopath, my personal experience is that ditching the hidden grains, not only, it not only made me feel better, it allowed me to reach progress or to reach the goals that I wasn't ever sure I would make. For example, I had a concussion. Brownie crumbs are very dangerous in your throat. So I had a concussion and I wasn't healing from the concussion. And the neurologist was like, light sensitivity and sound sensitivity will go away. And so that was really what sparked me to research the hidden grains, because if the doctor was telling me that the light sensitivity and the sound sensitivity would go away, but they weren't, and I was still having inflammation, then I went back to my struggle with grains because I was still inflamed, right? Inflammation in the brain makes it hard for the neurons to do their thing. And once I got the hidden grains gone, the migraines went away from being once a week to maybe once or twice a year. And this past December, I was actually able to go to a live concert. I had my concussion in 2017. February of 2018, sorry. And it wasn't until 2024 Christmas of 24, where I was able to go to a concert. But guess what? It happened. Healing is not linear. And if there's progress there to be made, my personal belief is if eliminating hidden grains will get you there, I'd love to hear your story and to hear about how it changed your life. Why? Because the possibilities are endless when you break a recipe. All right, thank you so much for being here live with me today. It has been a pleasure. I can't wait to hear about your story.